Ekahabo, and welcome to another episode of Talking Ifá with me, Babalawo Salako. In today's episode, I want to cover who is the Orisha Ọ ՍUN. And I'm doing this as a light intro for beginners, so I won't go too deep, but I want you to have a great overview of who is Ọ ՍUN. But before we get started, I want to thank you for all the support that you've given so far, and ask that you continue to support us, like, share, and subscribe, because that's what helps us to continue to do what we're doing. And I also want to thank you very much for where we are, because like I said before, we're trying to build a community. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2026. And right now we've surpassed 800. And I remember at the beginning of the year when I started with 10 subscribers. And so I am greatly appreciative, because we are building this brick by brick, bit by bit, as they say in Ifá. Bit by bit, we eat the head of the rat. Bit by bit, we eat the head of the fish. So we're building bit by bit, and I greatly appreciate all of your support. So with that being said, let's talk. Greetings. I'm Babalawo Salako. I was initiated as a priest of Ifá and Obatala in Nigeria in 2006, and I've been practicing the Ifá Orisha religion for over 30 years now. My mission is simple: to help those who are new to the religion or lost in the religion. So if that's you, then buckle up and join me. This is Talking Ifá. So, the Orisha Ọ ՍUN. So where do I start? So first of all, let me start with the real basics. This is for beginners. You may see Ọ ՍUN spelled O-S-H-U-N. If you're here, I'm here in the United States. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. But the Yoruba way of spelling it is O-S with a slash underneath, O-N. And the O, well, actually the O has a slash underneath. The S also has a slash underneath, U-N. Now the O with the slash underneath in Yoruba is kind of pronounced Ọ instead of O. Instead of Ọ ՍUN, it's Ọ ՍUN. So Ọ ՍUN, and the S with the slash underneath has the SH sound in Yoruba. So it's SH, but if you spell it in English, you might spell it O-S-H-U-N. But in Yoruba, it's O with a slash underneath, S with a slash underneath for S-H-U-N, Ọ ՍUN. Okay, so we got that out of the way. The other thing I want to cover right quick is, because, especially where I'm at here in Atlanta, Georgia, everybody you meet who are practicing this religion or spiritual practice are either practicing, they'll say they're practicing Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, which is the Yoruba, Nigerian kind of foundational, traditional way of practicing the religion, how it started. Or they're going to say they're practicing Lukumi, the Cuban system primarily. You might meet somebody who say they're practicing Candomblé from Brazil, but most of the people you're going to meet are going to say Lukumi or Ìṣẹ̀ṣe. So let's look at it, because Lukumi, remember, is after colonialization and slavery. So there were some things that happened. There was syncretization going on, where they mixed Catholic religion, Christianity, with the Yoruba. So, and then there's some changes of how they look at some things. So, Lukumi, they kind of look at Ọ ՍUN more kind of about her looks being seductive, possibly a temptress, sexually active, not staying with one person, vain, kind of vanity. They look, she's represented by holding the mirror, looking at herself. But she's still looked at as a very powerful Orisha. I'm coming from the Isheshe point of view. So on the Isheshe side, I would put it like this. I will compare Ọ ՍUN and Ęgbę. So traditionally in Nigeria, in Yoruba land, both Ọ ՍUN and Ęgbę are river deities, or river goddesses. Ęgbę is the Orisha or goddess of the river Ogun, Ọ ՍUN, the river Ọ ՍUN. Okay, so they're river goddesses, as well as Ọya. Ọya, I believe, is the river Niger, is Ọya's river. All of them are also river deities, Orisha goddesses. But when they compare the two in Isheshe, Ęgbę is given more of the motherly role. Both of them love children. Both of them are mothers. But Ęgbę is looked at more as the role of the mother, parenting, raising a child, looking over a child, protecting a child. Whereas Ọ ՍUN is the preamble or precursor to that. So what does it take for you to have a child that you're raising? And I'm talking about naturally birth. You have to get pregnant, right? So Ọ ՍUN would represent more of the techniques required for you to, get someone and be able to get pregnant, whether it's seduction, beauty, whatever that is, to allow you to get pregnant in the first place and then have your child and then raise the child. Okay, so I would kind of look at it, just in my opinion, how I would kind of look at kind of the slight differences there with Ọ ՍUN and Ęgbę. So because Ọ ՍUN plays more of that role, she's known for helping people, especially women who are having problems getting pregnant. They can go to Ọ ՍUN to help them to get pregnant, right? So the Ọ ՍUN River, Ọ ՍUN has one of the largest, or the largest, Orisha festivals in Nigeria. In Osogbo, they have the Ọ ՍUN festival, which is going on about right now. We're in August of 2026, and millions of people from all over the world go to Nigeria for the Ọ ՍUN festival. They go to her sacred grove, they go to the sacred river, because a lot of women who want to get pregnant, they want to be taken to the river so Ọ ՍUN can help them to get pregnant, okay? So that is a major role of Ọ ՍUN. So let me tell a little bit of the history of Ọ ՍUN. So a lot of people focus on that part, but Ọ ՍUN is very powerful. So I know the Owishe Agbaye Wande Abimbola often says that Ọya is one of the only female Orishas who are more powerful than her husband. Ọya, of course, is a wife of Kabiyesi Shango. And because Shango represents lightning, thunder, and rain, but Ọya, of course, represents hurricanes, the storms, the winds. So of course a hurricane as a storm can contain lightning, thunder, but also the wind of a hurricane, the wind of tornadoes. So if you're going through an area and you have a storm or hurricane, the winds of that hurricane are going to cause much more damage, more widespread damage than the lightning strikes. There may be some lightning strikes that causes a fire here or there, but the power of the hurricane itself in that scenario is much more powerful than the lightning and thunder in the storm, right? So as Orisha of nature, in that case, Oya would be much more powerful than her husband, Kabisi Shango. But I look at Ọ ՍUN as also a very, very, very powerful Orisha. Very powerful, okay? So Ọ ՍUN's power comes from a different place. If you look at Oya's power of the hurricane, that's a physical, material power of the wind, right? But Ọ ՍUN, from my point of view, represents a equal level of power, but on the spiritual side of power, okay? Because let's look at Ọ ՍUN. So besides being an Orisha that can help women to conceive and get pregnant, Ọ ՍUN rules over one of the most powerful powers in the universe. And that power that she rules over is, let me give an example. There's a story in one of the creations of the earth story. So in that story, when they were coming down, the Orisha was sent by Olodumare down to Aye, or earth, to set everything up, to set up the communities, cities, nature, everything else, and get everything working properly. Because initially, of course, Obatala came down on the chain with the chicken and the sand to create land out of the seas, the waters, the ocean, and all of that. But I'm talking about later, when they came down to set up the earth and set up societies and all of that. So Olodumare sent 17 Orisha down to Aye to set everything up. 16 of those were male. Only one was female. And that one that was sent by Olodumare to set up the earth was Ọ ՍUN. So they all came down and they worked, right? But nothing was coming to fruition. Nothing was working. So finally they got frustrated and they all went back, not all, 16 of them went back and met with Olodumare to report on what, the status of their work. So they were complaining to Olodumare. They said, look, everything we're trying, all of our powers, all the things we're doing, and nothing is working. We don't understand what the problem is. So Olodumare pondered for a little while and then said, how many of you did I send to do this work? And they said, you sent 17. Olodumare said, I only count 16 of you. Where's the other one? They said, oh, the other one is Ọ ՍUN. We left her because they had her doing only domestic chores, doing the cooking and cleaning in the kitchen and the house. And they hadn't included her in any of the work in setting up Aye, any of their meetings, their plans. They just left her there. So Olodumare asked them, well, why, why is Ọ ՍUN not here? They explained why Ọ ՍUN wasn't there and what they had done. So Lodumare said, that is why you failed. You did not include Ọ ՍUN. So this is what I would suggest that you do. Go back right away, kneel and grovel on the ground and beg Ọ ՍUN for forgiveness. Until you get her forgiveness, nothing you do will work. So that's what they did. They went and they groveled and begged Ọ ՍUN. So Ọ ՍUN, she kind of thought about it, and she said, okay, this is what I'll do. Ọ ՍUN said, I'm pregnant right now, because Ọ ՍUN was the wife of Orunmila. She was the wife of Orunmila before she became the wife of Shango later. She was the wife of Orunmila. And so she was pregnant with Orunmila's child. Her and Orunmila's child. So she said, okay, I'm pregnant right now. I'm a child. This is what I'll do for you. If the child that I have is a boy, a male, then I will forgive you. We'll have peace on Ęgbę, on earth, and we can work together to make things happen. But on the other hand, if my child is a girl, a female, then all hell's going to break loose. We're going to be at war with you. Okay? That's what I will agree to. So they all went back, and they were really worried and concerned, because Ọ ՍUN was so powerful that all she had to do was withdraw. Ọ ՍUN didn't argue. She didn't fuss. She didn't complain. They treated her with disrespect. She just sat back and was quiet and waited, because Ọ ՍUN knew her power. She didn't have to argue or fight. She just withdrew her power. Okay? So they were trying to figure out what to do. So Orunmila, the Orisha of wisdom, and Obatala, the leader of the Holy Orisha, they got together and was talking. What can we do? Obatala says, because Obatala, also known as the creator, Obatala, his Ashe, he has Ashe, one type in his left hand, another type in his right hand. So one of his Ashes allows him to look in and see things. So Obatala said, okay, I'm going to go see if her child is a boy or a girl. So Obatala reached inside Ọ ՍUN's womb, unbeknownst to her. Spiritually, he reached inside her womb and saw that the child was a girl. So Obatala came back and said, we're in trouble, because this child is a girl. We in deep kimchi, as they say. Okay? But Obatala, being the creator and the molder of humans, said, okay, I can go in and mold this child and make the child a boy. That's our only hope. So Obatala did that. Obatala went in and molded the child and made it, and the fetus, a boy. Okay? So that was how, and Ọ ՍUN was none the wiser. Ọ ՍUN didn't realize that it happened. So of course, when the child was born, it was a boy. That child that was born was Ọ ṢUN. Otura is the Odu. the Odu, Ọ ՍUN or Ọ ՍUN, is the child or son of Orunmila, Ifa Orunmila, and Ọ ՍUN. And that child is sacred because in all of our offerings, that Ọ ՍUN is supposed to be invoked, the child of Orunmila and Ọ ՍUN, to give seal and approve the offerings, any offerings that are made to any of the other deities, Orisha, ancestors, etc. Ọ ՍUN is what we invoke at the end of Ęgbę, and that is the son of Ọ ՍUN and Orunmila. Okay. Now I know you may hear there's some people that want to say that the son that was born of Orunmila and Ọ ՍUN was ÄSU, but that's not the case. Like I said before, Professor Kola Abimbola teaches us that there were the eternal four, meaning the four that were never created, never born of anyone. They have always been in existence. That is Olodumare, ÄSU, Ọbàtálá, and Ifa Orunmila. Those four. So ÄSU was not a child of Ọ ՍUN and Orunmila. That child was Ọ ՍUN or Ọ ՍUN. So that right there, when I said that Ọ ՍUN has this power, this spiritual power, there was 16 very powerful male Orisha. And no matter how much power they had, they could not overcome the power of Ọ ՍUN, one single Orisha. Okay? So that is an example of why I say Ọ ՍUN, a lot of people don't give Ọ ՍUN the respect and credit that she deserves, because Ọ ՍUN is one of the most powerful Orisha, in my opinion, especially spiritually. Okay? And when it comes to even her influence, and let me say that power is utilized by what we call the great mothers, the sacred mothers, or we may call the Ęgbę, who rule the night. And one of the things that you find out in this religion or spiritual practice is that if the Ęgbę are using their power to block you, then it is a struggle to overcome. Even if you come to Orunmila and do Ęgbę, you might get temporary relief, but you can't force the Ęgbę to forgive you or help you, right? You have to beg them. When you give offerings to the other Orisha, you just make the agreement, Orunmila makes the agreement with them. They say, okay, they're going to help you. You do your offerings, and you're all good. But with the Ęgbę, an offering may be prescribed, but that still doesn't mean they're going to accept it. You give the offering, you plead with them to accept it. If they don't accept it, then you may have to give another offering, plead with them to accept it. If they don't accept it, you may have to give another offering. They're very, very powerful, okay? And their power that they have is the power that is ruled by Ọ ՍUN, okay? And there's another story in the Ifa literary corpus that deals with Orunmila, Ęgbę, and that power with Ọ ՍUN. So there was a time when Orunmila had some students that he had trained, and they became very good at what they did. Once he trained them, they went out and started practicing as Babalawo. They were traveling from city to city. They became famous. But one of the things that is very, very important in this culture is respect. Respect is is, like they say, the minimum. Respect is required. We must respect our elders, our ancestors who are our elders, other elders who are elders in one way or the other through age, sometimes by position. It could be somebody that's younger than you. Say if you get a job, your boss is younger than you, but they're your boss. So on the job, in that setting, they're your elder. You must show them a certain level of respect. In this religion, in Yoruba culture in general, respect is there, and this religion flows out of Yoruba culture. It's so much so it is written into Yoruba language, right? How they speak, how they greet. There's certain things you have to do with your language if you're talking to an elder versus a peer or somebody younger than you. You have to do ballet, which is you have to prostrate yourself on the ground in front of elders, right? So in this religion, we do that same thing. You prostrate in front of your aluo, your priests, your elders, when you greet them. If you have an elder, your aluo, who brought you into the religion, and say you're in a different city, whenever you travel to the city that your aluo is in, it's mandatory that you must go and greet your aluo out of respect, right? So in this story, Orunmila had trained them. So they came to a point one time where they came back to the same city in which Orunmila was living. And they were celebrities. So when they came, they got busy. People started making plans for them. They wanted them to come and do X, Y, Z, present here, do this, that, and the other. So they got caught up in all of that. And they neglected to respect Orunmila. They didn't go see Orunmila or nothing, right? So word got back to Orunmila that they were in town and they were ignoring Orunmila. Orunmila lost his temper, right? There was occasions Orunmila lost his temper. Normally he tries to be cool and calm, level-headed, but in this case, he lost his temper. And so Orunmila summoned them that they must come and see him. So when they got there, Orunmila was so angry that Orunmila took out his blade. So in the mythology of Orunmila, there was a blade that Orunmila carried, but it wasn't a blade he carried outside. The blade was actually inside his body. So Orunmila reached inside his body, pulled out the blade, and cut off all of their heads, right? For disrespecting him. So what happened after that was, on their way to Orun, because he had decapitated them, killed them, they were so angry that they went and complained. And they went and they said, this wasn't fair. This was excess. This was an excessive punishment. Yeah, we were guilty, but we didn't deserve to have our heads cut off. This was not right, what Orunmila did. Okay, so they went to Ọ ՍUN and they told Ọ ՍUN. They pleaded their case and they begged Ọ ՍUN, could they have access to that power of the Ęgbę? Can they have access to that power? Because they felt they were wronged by Orunmila. Ọ ՍUN said okay and granted them the power. Then they went and they came back as birds. They perched outside of Orunmila's window one night. And they started with the loudest screeching sounds that you could imagine in the middle of the night when Orunmila and his family was trying to sleep. They woke up and they're like, what is this? What's going on? Looking out the window, the birds were screeching. Then the next night they came and did it again. Then the next night they came and did it again. So Romula said, okay, I got to do something about this. So Romula went to divine, and Ęgbę was prescribed. Romula performed the Ęgbę. It worked. That night, the birds were gone. No issues. But about a week later, all of a sudden in the middle of the night, Romula was hearing the screeching again. This time, they started out with a few, maybe 3 of them. Now, there was like 30 of them, and they were all out screeching. Romula's go, what is this? What's going on? I did the Ęgbę. The Ęgbę worked, but only worked for a short time. So Romula divined again, performed another Ęgbę. They were gone for about a week. There was peace. A week later, now there's 300 birds outside the window screeching. Romula said, oh, okay. The Ęgbę is not keeping them away. What can I do? Well, the one that controls that power that they have is Ọ ՍUN. So Romula said, let me go to Ọ ՍUN's house, her compound. So Romula went, and he came outside the compound, the door, and one of her servants was there, and he said, I want to see Ọ ՍUN. So they went and told Ọ ՍUN. Ọ ՍUN said, who is that at my door? Why is he here? I don't want to see him. And so they went back to Romula, said she's not available. So Romula started calling her again. And Romula said, Ọ ՍUN, do you remember the pact that we made? And Ọ ՍUN said, why does he remember that? He remembers everything. He remembers the pact. The pact was that they will always be available and promise to help each other whenever they're in need. If Ọ ՍUN's in need, Romula must help her. If Romula's in need, Ọ ՍUN must help him, even though they're no longer married, right? Even if Ọ ՍUN may have ill feelings towards him. They had a pact. And when Romula called out that, Ọ ՍUN said, okay, I have to help him. So Ọ ՍUN came out. Okay, what do you want? Romula explained, and Ọ ՍUN said, okay, I'll remove their power. So Ọ ՍUN removed that power from them, and then they were no longer able to torment Romula. Okay? So, in that story, to me, that exemplifies the power that Ọ ՍUN has. That even Ęgbę alone can only temporarily help with that power, right? That power is so strong that Ọ ՍUN is one of the only ones who can overcome that, okay? So, Ọ ՍUN, like I said, is a very beautiful Orisha, but she's also a very powerful Orisha. She doesn't have to argue, fight. Ọ ՍUN can be quiet in the background, but she is powerful, right? So that's a quick introduction to Ọ ՍUN. So I hope that gives you a little more enlightenment to who Ọ ՍUN is, really, at least in the ÄÄ line. And I will bring more Orisha in the future. I'm going to cover Ęgbę, and I'm going to cover Romula himself and other Orisha in the near future. But I thank you again for all your support. And I ask that you all continue to support us, and I pray that all of the Orisha, your Ori, including your Ori, all of your honored ancestors, your Ęgbę, and all your guardian spirits continue to bless you, guide you, and direct you. You are on the right path. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe Sheo.